I'm taking the engine lid and boot lid off so we can drop the engine. Then removing these two plastic bits here very carefully. Someone's used the wrong screw to hold it in place. Now just spraying some WD-40 around the fuel neck rubber piece here, because if you use that and you push down with your thumbs, it can slip off quite easily and won't break the plastic. Just 2 bolts hold the fuel neck in place, then I undid the hose clamps and then twisted the fuel neck off. I'm not really surprised by the condition of the fuel neck rubber. You can see it's all broken and cracked. So I'm taking all the fuel lines out and then going to replace them with new ones. There's some new ones, some old ones and some damaged ones. Now just using this hand pump to pull all the fuel out of the tank. You need to undo this plate in order to get to this rubber mount part on top of the fuel tank, and then a couple of screws holding this rubber piece. I'm now pulling off 2 spade connectors that connect to the tank, as well as unscrewing this earth. Now you have to lift the car really high, and I mean really high, so I'm lucky I have a hoist, but if you do it on a driveway it will be quite hard. Now I'm unscrewing these 2 bolts which connect to these 2 straps that hold in the fuel tank. And then all I did was wiggle the tank to pull it out. This is the cavity of the fuel tank. You can see there's some surface rust there and a lot of dirt that has been flicked up over time, so I'll have to treat that. There is also good speaker access here. I'm soaking these nuts in WD-40 because if I don't they'll stick and I'll break the actual top. I've done it many times and I'm just being really careful now. I'm now lifting the fuel sender unit out of the tank so I can have a look at the actual bulb at the end and see if it's got any fuel in it. If it does, it means it has a leak and won't float properly. So I'm going to have a quick look at it here and you'll see that there's actually some fuel in the bottom, so I'll need that replaced. There was a fair amount of debris in the tank there. You can see some leaves and twigs. So after rinsing out the tank, you can see there's corrosion on the bottom, so I need to treat that, and I'll do that in a later video. I got these horns at a car show market. They are new old stock. So now I need to remove all the lights as well as remove the old horn. These are the factory horns and there's one in each pod. I'm placing the air pump in the original location of the horn and then installing the horns inside the pod. Testing was successful. I reinstalled everything, but I'll have to be back in there later to do the spoiler. I drained the oil and then the remaining coolant. Then unbolted the gearbox from the lollipop and then the lollipop from the gear rod. Then unclipping this bellower and pulling out the gear rod. Now just disconnecting all the electrical stuff. I then removed the air filter and then got rid of all this fettuccine and spaghetti. And of course the speedo cable. Now removing the calipers and disconnecting the handbrake cable. Now the spacer, the disc and then the dust shield. Now hammering out what remains of this nut. You can see there was a massive chunk missing from this thing. Unclip, unscrew and unbolt a few things and the hub will come clear. And you'll probably need to use the persuader. Now shaft out of the gearbox. Now removing the rear arms, as these were for a 4-speed. The one I'm using is a 5-speed, so I'll have to change them over. But next time, I press a button